Coming up on Nittany Game Week.
It's really cool for Penn State to have that record now, and it's something that hopefully lasts for a while.
It certainly takes a while to break it. Almost 6 years. Penn State secures their 78th consecutive dual meet victory. Why the difficulty of this accomplishment may not be fully appreciated.
And getting some of our young freshman talent into the mix of competition and being able to get them some of the reps.
The men's gymnastics team opens up their season with a victory. What to expect from a program that always expects nothing short of excellence in competitions. And here he comes, College Football Hall of Fame. Which legendary Nittany Lions running back will be immortalized with the rest of the sport's greatest players? This is Nittany Game Week. Hello everyone and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski alongside Ryan Yee. The run-of-the-mill superlative is simply not good enough to describe Penn State's wrestling team as they reach another unprecedented height in the sport.
Yeah, Todd, February 2nd, 2020, the day the streak starts, 78 dual meet matches since then, all of them victories for the Nittany Lions to set a new NCAA record.
And there is no drama whether they would get the job done against Rutgers last weekend. Lauren Bradford, part of our Nittany Game Week team. She was in Rec Hall and details the record-breaking day to start off our opening drive.
February 2nd, 2020 to January 10th, 2026. A record years in the making now belongs to the Nittany Lions, as Penn State Wrestling reaffirmed why they are the dynasty in college wrestling. It was this pin from none other than Mitchell Messenbrink that secured the dual meet win and the NCAA record for Penn State Wrestling.
It's really cool for Penn State to have that record now, and it's something that hopefully lasts for a while. But it's pretty special, and I don't think it's not something we're really going to think about or did think about or we're concerned about in any way. I mean, we're trying to move our feet out there and, you know, clear ties and take care of the little things, and then. But I think looking back, these guys will appreciate it more, you know, when they're my age or half of my age, you know, and it'll be something that they'll be proud that they were a part of it.
The record-breaking match will be memorable to different wrestlers for different reasons. For sophomore Josh Barr, it was his return from injury against a former high school teammate that makes this match special.
I probably spent more time wrestling him than anybody in my whole life. He was my partner, like main partner for 4 years straight, so it was cool. You know, really cool to be able to do it in Rec Hall, you know, Rutgers versus Penn State, and just really more grateful than ever. When you don't get to compete for a while and you get to go out there and wrestle and Rec Hall, it makes you really grateful to do it, and I think I'm just really appreciative of that and happy to be back.
For others, it was the perfect time to step up to the moment, with junior Braden Davis burning his red shirt to take over full-time duties at 141 after an injury sidelined Aaron Nagao.
Braden's ready to go, and he's a competitor, and it's nice having him in the lineup. He always competes hard.
Checking in on one of the homegrown connections, Biglerville grad and Nittany Lions senior Levi Haynes remained perfect on the year, picking up a pin in the win. While the record may just be another chapter added to the history books for the program, those who took the mat as part of the historic meet carry the legacy of those who came before and paved the path to make this possible.
I walked into the record, obviously it's my freshman year, so I wasn't a part of all this stuff prior, but it's just an amazing feeling to be a part of such a great and such a cool thing. And I think it's just, I don't even have words to describe how grateful I am to be a part of the team, and it's just super cool that records come along with that stuff.
78 in a row is quite the accomplishment, especially when you consider the gauntlet that is wrestling in the Big Ten.
Thanks, Lauren. Different story for the men's basketball team, which continues to search for their first win in conference play.
And once you enter the teeth of the Big Ten schedule, there is no let-up when it comes to quality opponents. And that includes some visitors from the West, as UCLA takes the floor at the Bryce Jordan Center for the very first time. The Bruins on the floor in State College Wednesday night. Low scoring first half. So we pick up the action after the break. That's when the defense leads to some offense. Penn State with the steal. Then they've got numbers going the other way. It's a 4-on-2. Mason Blackwood finishes in the lane. And the Nittany Lions creep a little closer to the Bruins. Dominic Stort with a team-high 16 points on the night. He grabs the long rebound and he heads the other way. All alone in the lane, no matter, drops it in, plus the foul. It's a one-possession game. Moments later, more from Stort behind the arc, and he's going to drill it. Penn State moves back in front. That is not where they stay. The Bruins run away down the stretch for a double-digit victory, 71-60. Nittany Lions fall to 9-8 overall, 0-6 in the conference.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. I mean, like, close doesn't get you to win. It doesn't mean nothing. It's still a 0 in the column. So, I mean, it's definitely frustrating. But, I mean, we want to win. We don't want to be close.
Got to figure it out, you know, and keep pushing. Like these guys, you all saw that we played really hard. We tried to play the right way. You know, we make some. I think we make some mental mistakes. Some of it is inexperience. Some of it is we were moving some guys around and playing extra minutes and playing different positions. But you still got to find a way. No excuses.
PSU 0-6 in the Big Ten. Next up, a 12 noon tip-off on Sunday afternoon at Maryland. And the next home game is the return to Rec Hall on Thursday night against Wisconsin. We stay with hoops and talk about the women's squad. Similar situation right now with a 7-game losing streak to begin conference action. Latest setback comes in Columbus at Ohio State as they surrender 108 points to the Buckeyes. Now this is action against Illinois in the Lions' last game in the BJC this season. They hang close in the first half before falling 92-76. The defense is a big issue at the moment. They've given up 305 points in the past 3 contests. All remaining home games take place in Rec Hall, including this Sunday's 1 p.m. matchup with Rutgers.
A lot of expectation heading into a brand new year for the men's gymnastics team, entering 2026 ranked 7th in the country. And what better way to get off on the right foot than starting with a big meet win over Army. Fresh off the 311.3 to 297.6 victory over the Black Knights this past Sunday, the Nittany Lions were right back to work, expectedly so for a younger team compared to last year's Big Ten regular season champs. In fact, 5 of the 12 athletes in the starting lineup against Army are freshmen and made their first collegiate appearances for PSU. Matt Underhill, who led the young group and finished with a hat trick of event titles at the meet, says getting that experience in early on is vital.
I would say the highlight for our meet against Army, obviously besides winning, which, you know, who doesn't like winning, was really getting some of our young freshman talent into the mix of competition and being able to get them some of the reps. Having 6 or 7 new members to our roster, that was very important, and obviously really liked what we did out there. There's a lot of room for improvement, but would say the first meet was a success in terms of looking forward to the whole season.
The Nittany Lions now take a trip out to West Point on Army's home turf for the West Point Open this weekend. One member of the women's hockey team goes from wearing blue and white to representing the red, white, and blue. Why there's so much excitement for Tessa Janecke's Olympic berth on Team USA coming up. More Nittany Game Week is on the way.
The opening drive is sponsored by R&R Express. Every shipment moved contributes to autism research and inclusion through the Excel Foundation. Learn more at wearerr.com. Nittany Game Week is brought to you by West Shore Home, official partner of Penn State football.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. History will be made for one Penn State athletics program in February as women's ice hockey captain Tessa Janecke trades in State College for Milan, Italy. She'll become the program's first player to represent Team USA in the Olympic Games. Nittany Game Week's Lauren Bradford talks with Tessa about her path to the Olympics.
One name has become synonymous with Penn State women's hockey.
Inside, Janecke, she shoots and scores!
Tessa Janecke.
It's like what I'm known for now, I guess, at Penn State.
The senior captain has already left her mark in Hockey Valley, holding the program's career goal and career assist records.
Tessa raised everybody's level, and so people know that now that is the standard. She's basically brought championship habits to Penn State.
Not only have those championship habits helped her build up Penn State, they've made her a difference maker for Team USA.
It's just an honor, obviously, to go back and forth for both teams, but being all in, like wherever I'm at, I think is kind of what's most important to me.
It's not a mistake that she's there. She's a big-time player for USA, and it's just kind of, it's fun to sit back and be a fan and watch her on TV and enjoy her from like a different perspective.
After scoring the overtime goal that clinched gold at Women's Worlds back in April, Janecke's ready to contribute on the biggest stage in sports, the Olympics.
Calling my parents and talking to teammates and friends and getting like a bunch of support and love from them kind of made it more real for me. Just knowing like I have their support is also like huge for me going into that and stepping into an environment that I've never been in before.
While Tessa's in Italy repping the red, white, and blue, her presence will surely be missed here in Hockey Valley, as Penn State will have to finish their regular season without their captain.
Not being able to be here and be that presence and be like a leader in the ways like I am for this team, I think it'd be harder on me, I think, than on them. Like I know they're gonna do well regardless.
And when they're not on the ice together, they've already got plans to support each other from afar.
I mean, obviously I'll be watching like whenever I can and sending them texts, but they got this.
They're definitely pumped for her. You know, like when the news comes in and officially make the team, you know, they're genuinely happy and celebrate her, and we'll be able to watch national TV. So like they'll gather around and become you know, rooting her on together.
Lauren Bradford for Nittany Game Week.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. Janecke is not the only Nittany Lion that's going to play in Italy in the Olympics. Sophomore forward Nicole Hall will skate for Team Sweden, along with a 2021 PSU grad, Jessica Adolfsson. Jessica is a 2022 Beijing Winter Olympian that will once again represent Sweden. And as we showed you last week, a handful of the men's hockey players took part in international competitions that take place over the holidays and spill into early January. Now, with everyone back in the States, specifically State College, the men sweep Minnesota and gain some momentum to begin a rough stretch of Big Ten games. In Game 1 last weekend at Pagula, the Nittany Lions do something they've never done before. They shut out the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Freshman goalie Josh Fleming does the honors as he holds firm even without a stick. The defense does a nice job to keep the pursuit on the outside on this play. It allows Fleming to hide most of the net and make the stop. In fact, he kicks aside all 27 shots he faces. On the other end, Matt DeMarsico will slide in an insurance tally to make the final 3-zip. Now, the Nittany Lions follow that up with a 5-2 margin the next day to dust off Minnesota.
There's obviously things that we have to, get better on, and I think every practice, every game, we're going to keep developing, keep trying to win this national championship that we have a goal of. So yeah, I think everything's going well. I think if we just progress in the practices and all that stuff, I think we'll be golden.
And Fink reaches a milestone in the Minnesota series, 100 career points. 9th Nittany Lions player to reach the mark. He does it faster than anyone else in only his 87th game this weekend series, also at home against Notre Dame. And coming up, our Impact interview where we sit down with men's gymnastics head coach Randy Jepson as he enters an incredible 35th season with the program. More on how his young team aims to face big expectations next when Nittany Game Week returns.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. This week in our Impact interview, we got a chance to catch up with Penn State men's gymnastics head coach Randy Jepson. And with the high expectations heading into his 35th year at the helm, it's safe to say Jepson has seen it all and is ready to lead a young Nittany Lions group this season.
Every year is different, and the team is different. The challenges are different, and this year's exactly like that. There's always challenges, and it's a challenge to go to work every day.
You're coming off of a season where you guys did pretty well. Obviously, the Big Ten regular season championship, 5th overall at the national championships, and you're heading into this year with high expectations, 7th overall ranking heading into this year. How do you approach that, and how do you match that expectation that you're heading into this new year when you do have, I guess, for lack of better terms, a different identity here?
Yeah, completely different identity. You know, we lost a lot of routines to graduation from our team last year. But the exciting part about that is you bring in a new group who's ready to go. And a lot of new teaching. You got to teach culture, buy-in, and these guys have really embraced that. I'm excited because even though we graduated a lot, the guys we brought in are pretty talented. And so the start values are comparable. It's just going to be a question of making sure that they learn what it's like to actually compete at a high level and what the standards are that we have, and to be ready to go day in and day out.
And how do you teach that to the younger athletes, the freshmen that come in, when you step into a program where you have those banners on the wall, you have the success that you've seen as recently as last year, and you have them buy into that and kind of embrace something that is so large, but probably something they've never experienced before, and they got to step right in and kind of make an impact. How do you ease that transition, per se?
Yeah, you talk about the banners on the wall. Yeah, there's a bunch of those, but I look at the empty space, and that's what is theirs. You know, that's their space, and they get to fill it, and that's what they're called to do. So, yeah, there's a high calling, but you know, there's a lot of expectations, but they haven't done anything yet. So you got to go out and earn it, and getting that across and enjoying that process as you go is really important. We want our guys to have a great time and make this the experience of their life. But it's not going to be easy, and so they know that going in, and they prepare for the challenge.
How much do you lean on the older athletes, the seniors, like Matt Underhill and those guys, to kind of be your second voice, per se? Sure, it's very helpful to have those types of guys be kind of your second hands.
Yeah, you know, in terms of setting culture, our upperclassmen are huge, and having good leadership at the top is great. We've got you know, solid captains in Landon Simpson and Casper Goncharek. And the rest of our guys, Ian Robble, Matt Underhill, you know, all of our seniors are just doing a great job that way. And so having them to be able to articulate to the guys, you know, from their viewpoint what we need, what the coaches are calling them to, what the experience is going to be like or should be like, is something that was really, really valuable.
There's been no shortage of cycles that you've seen, you know, athletes go from freshman to their senior year, and that growth. What's it like for you to see that on a repetitive basis, where you shape and mold these young kids that come into this program and end up leaving here as men that have learned so much through this program?
Yeah, that's huge for me. It's so much more than just the gymnastics or the accolades or the placement. And it's funny you mentioned this, because I was talking about it with my wife last night. One of the things that I do is when I recruit, I don't ask people what they want to be. I ask them who they want to be. It's more about what is the person you want to become. And if that aligns, if their goal in that aligns with our goal, then we've got something we can work with. But if they're just about the gymnastics or even the academic side, it won't work, because we're looking for it to be able to build and pull someone together towards something that they've really aspired to. You know, I want to be a man of integrity. I want to be somebody that, you know, I'm admired by my wife and my kids for who I am. And those are the kinds of things we try to model, and that's what we hope to be able to build for an employer, a wife, a family. That's what it's all about.
How much is it enjoyable? Like, you've been doing it for so long, but it seems like you step in this office, you get to work, you go into the gym, you're helping the guys out. Like, you must love doing this for as long as you've been doing it.
Yeah, there's challenges along the way, no question. But you know, when you look at the big picture of what you're getting to do and what you're getting to accomplish, it's really rewarding, very, very rewarding. And I'm doing it at a place that I absolutely love. You know, the people of Penn State, both now and all before, and our alumni across the board, it's just a great family to be a part of. And so I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of it and get to do it every day.
And I guess just to follow up to that then, just being able to bring that success here for those people, right? Penn State is a special place, State College is a special place. It's got to be that much more rewarding that when you bring that success, it's for a place that is so special.
Oh, sure. Everybody loves a winner, and you know, that's what we always want to be, but not just you know, in the athletic arena, but everywhere around.
Appreciate the time with head coach Jepson sitting down with us. We wish the best this season. Make sure you go to NittanyGameWeek.com for all of our Impact interviews, along with other web exclusive content. Don't go anywhere. Still to come, here he comes to the Hall of Fame, the next Nittany Lions player that will be immortalized with the rest of the college football greats. That, plus our Dean's List and Pride Picks. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week.
Nittany Game Week is brought to you by West Shore Home, official partner of Penn State football.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. It's time to recognize some standout athletes, but before we get into this week's Dean List, we got to start off with highlighting former Nittany Lion and 1994 Heisman runner-up Ki-Jana Carter, who was named to the 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class. During Carter's time with the Nittany Lions, the Ohio native racked up 395 carries for 2,829 yards and 34 touchdowns, ranking among the program's all-time leaders. Carter will be officially inducted on December 8th and joins 27 other Penn Staters to enter the College Football Hall of Fame. Now to our Dean's List, a handful of athletes to highlight this week. First to men's hockey, where freshman goalie Josh Fleming has been named to the Mike Richter Award watch list, given to the best goalie in D1 hockey. The Canadian leads the nation in save percentage and is top 10 in goals against average. To the women's team, we talked about them earlier, but the Olympics are big, so got to shout them out again. Right around the corner, Tessa Janecke is heading to Milan, and announced this week joining her is Nicole Hall and Jessica Adelson, named to Team Sweden. And last but certainly not least, love to give a shout out to academic success as well. Women's volleyball's Kennedy Martin was named a CSC first team all-academic American for the second consecutive year. Martin, who is a labor and human resources major, is one of just 2 players from the Big Ten to make the first team. Big shout out to the athletes on this week's Nittany Game Week's Dean's List.
Good stuff there. Now, we're bringing PSU fans and alumni together with our Nittany Connect network at NittanyGameWeek.com, partnering with businesses that support the show and letting our viewers know about their great products and professional services. Make sure to check out NittanyGameWeek.com for all of our web-exclusive content. Airtimes for all of our network of stations, previous episodes, and interviews can all be found at one convenient location, NittanyGameWeek.com.
And we always finish off with some pride picks. Make sure to show us your spirit by submitting yours on our website. You might just see yourself at the end of the show.
Well, enjoy another great week of PSU sports, everyone. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. We'll see you next time.